So it's kind of this roundabout way of getting your snare into the plate, but with the room vibe to it. Super rad, man.
In this session that I've got pulled up, I've got the drums soloed up. So then if we hear them, pretty basic close mics. And then we've got some room mics. And you'll notice that by bringing them in on their own, it's creating that room sound for the entire kit, and that might be exactly what you like. But you might want to just kind of capture that vibe for just, let's say, the snare drum, for example. So in this case, you can see what I've done is I've made the sidechain input to the room mics. I've made it the snare track. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the API Vision gate. I'm going to turn on the gate, and I've got it set up to gate the room mics. And because the sidechain is triggered by the snare, you'll get the room mic only with the snare. And that sounds like this. Here again, release time, super duper important. It's basically giving you the length of the decay of the snare drum. Mm-hmm. So that, make sure you have this right here. I have it set to that, what is it, 700 milliseconds, because I want a lot of that length.
Uh-huh.
Yep. The other thing that's cool here is that now that I've done this, I can also use this as a place to add some reverb. So nice. Now the reverb is now reacting to the drum sound that is only on the snare, which is super cool. So now you've got. So that's obviously very different than if I turn this off. Now we're going to get all of that kick as well as the decay and reverb on the kick. Mm-hmm. Which you might like, but in the context of a dense mix, it might be better that it's just the snare, right? So you can really get a lot of control as to what the net result of this is. These are just live room mics that are printed while tracking the drums, so it's very it's really cool to be able to just sort of dig in there and get just the snare room and then just reverb on the snare room.
Using that sidechain to say, cool, when the snare drum hits, open up for a second or so, like you get this really nice, awesome natural space. But then I love that you went to that next level and you're like, cool, now based on that room sound, add the plate reverb to add the length. Instead of just feeding the snare drum into the plate, you've now fed the room mics based on the snare drum into the plate. So it's kind of this roundabout way of getting your snare into the plate, but with the room vibe to it. Super rad, man.